What is up, you wonderful people? It is I, Nima. When Light Fairy Tales Episode 1 came out, I said this game was underrated, underappreciated, and I just had a lot of glowing things to say about it. Episode 2 just released on the Nintendo Switch. Let's see if it lives up to its predecessor. But before we get into that, I do want to say we are so close to 500, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. You're all amazing, and whether you just started subscribing or you've been an OG, I really do appreciate you. And so that's why I want to announce that I'm going to be doing random giveaways. And the first giveaway, the first grand prize, is a $10 eShop gift card. And that is actually already won by an OG of the channel named Trick. He has been here for quite a long time, always down in the comments, and that's what's important, because I really do appreciate if you like and subscribe and follow and all that. The most important thing to do to enter yourself in these giveaways is to comment. And the reason is because I have to know that I can get a hold of you. So Trick, you won yourself $10. I'll be in touch to get your email address and send you the code. The next giveaway is going to be next week, and it's actually going to be a game that I'm going to review on the 23rd. Yes, I'm going to do a review on my birthday, or maybe the 22nd, but close to. The giveaway definitely has to happen on the 23rd. So I almost didn't review this game because I thought, well, it's not really even its own game. It's just like an episode, you know? And so if you like the first one, you're gonna like the second one, right? Well, I'm glad that I decided to kind of hold off and wait to determine if I was going to review it or not. And I do want to say, too, if you're thinking about getting this and you haven't played Episode 1, needless to say, you do need to play Episode 1. Well, this one picks up exactly where Episode 1 left off, as we were Haru, and I'm not going to explain the whole story, but we'll just say that we made a leap of faith out of the underground city, and now we're in Siberia. Just this area that is completely covered in snow. It's very cold, and consciousness is one of those things that Haru is just having a hard time keeping grasp of. Well, so much of this game seemed to kind of be the same as Episode 1. When I say that, I mean character designs look great, the backgrounds are pretty amazing, like the environment in general. Like, I will say this game looks beautiful. It really does. And it's still that turn-based JRPG style with really clever writing. But this game does seem to turn a corner that, I don't know, I'm not exactly excited about. So the first, 20 minutes of the game are really pretty dull, right? And it takes a while for the game to almost warm up and get back into what we had just left off on. I don't know, it's almost like they restarted, and they didn't need to, but that's fine. The one thing it also did do, though, is it restarted your level. So if you had been working on Haru and gaining levels, well, that's all done. It all went back to zero. So in a way, it is kind of its own game, but it's still that short 7-8 hour gameplay, and it all revolves in the same area that what you started in. And that kind of sucks because there's not a lot of dynamics to it. It's just like frozen wasteland. And in a way, you feel kind of ripped off because the way that they expand the game, or the content in which that you play, is namely through like 2 or 3 different mazes. And that really kind of sucks as you're playing the game because you just feel like this isn't a different place. And I'll explain, like, I'm not going to give any spoilers away, but there is an evil ice queen that is tormenting a local village, and the process of getting to her, which is a little bit of a maze and a lot of going against really cold wind blowing at you. Well, just from point A to point B, just to get to her, and it's not very long, is 25% of the game. Another big chunk of the game comes in the form of like a forest maze, where you are traveling a lot, but it all looks the same, and most of it is just kind of trying to, there again, figure out a maze. So almost the entire game takes place in this like relatively small area. The other thing is, there's not a lot of NPCs to talk to. The first one had a lot of characters, dynamic backgrounds. Even though it was kind of the same area, it was different, it was fresh. There was a different sense about all of it, whether it be like a store or the city streets or even in that industrial park area. But here it's just all snow. So it's that aspect of it is not great, to be honest. I don't like the fact that it restarts you at 0, even though you are required to upload your last save. Well, you're not required, but you can upload your last save from Episode 1, showing that you played through it. So if it has all that, then shouldn't it just keep you at the same level? Like, it seems ridiculous not to, especially since I'm guessing this is going to be like a 4-part episodic game. Restarting you at 0 kind of takes away any sort of reason for you to grind or to work on Haru or any of the other characters' levels. I don't like that. Finally, and this is the big one that I think everyone should pay attention to, it crashes all the time. This game is honestly almost uncompletable because every time you get pretty deep into it, it'll crash. I have had this happen 3 times, and this is moments when I've maybe been 30 minutes since my last save, and as I said before, it's a little monotonous, a little repetitive, and it just kind of killed my inertia to keep going, and it's part of the reason it's taken me quite a while to beat this game, because I just didn't care. Like, I didn't feel like going through this like blank wasteland of a maze over and over again to then maybe have the game just crash in a random battle. Now for me, I think this definitely needs a lot of work. I understand the core game itself maybe isn't going to change, and that's fine. Like, if episode 2 or the middle game of a lot of RPGs is kind of slow and boring. Now usually it's because they're working on character development, and in this game, there is a new NPC, actually 2 of them, that you can add to your team. Not a lot of character depth, but whatever. But, you know, you're kind of doing that, or you're grinding at that point. All of that's fair. But the crashing is not. So, meaning, if all the negatives I said about this game were still there, I would still be somewhat excited for episode 3. But right now, no. They've got to figure out the stability and make this game more playable, at least. Because it's ridiculous that not only is the game kind of difficult, to be honest, towards the end, and you run the risk of just dying, but not only that, when you run into some random battles, it'll just freeze up, and it'll show an error and complete crash. So they definitely have to fix that before anyone thinks about purchasing it. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you, each and every one of you. You're all so amazing. I apologize for not being as consistent and kind of missing a few days here and there, but seems I have some sort of cold or something. I'm easily winded, I'll put it that way. Like, you wouldn't believe the edits in these videos is constantly it's allergies is what it is, because this happened to me last year around this time. But anyway, guys, I'm going to do my best to be here as frequent as possible, no matter what. I appreciate you. I love you. Have a great weekend. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.